Hi, my name is Linda Cree. I'm a member of the Green Party of Michigan and currently a co-chair of the Green Party of the United States Platform Committee. I'm very happy to have this opportunity to talk to you about our platform today. Our platform is meant to give voters a good idea of what our party stands for and where we come down on specific issues. I think of it as taken all together as being a vision of the kind of society Greens think we can and should be creating. Unlike other political parties, our platform isn't created by a platform committee or by a bunch of party elites getting together in some back room and making deals. It's truly a grassroots process that we go through, opened to Greens throughout the country. So it is a truly grassroots creation. And I've been doing a lot of comparing of platforms within the last few weeks, looking at the Democratic Party platform, the Republicans, Libertarians, and Socialists, and comparing them to ours. And I have to say, I think ours is the most comprehensive and in-depth platform out there. It ends up being an educational tool as well as a vision. Even Green Party candidates can find it useful if they're not up to date on a specific issue. They can see what the platform says on that particular issue. It is 65 pages long, which the Republican Party platform is the next longest at 58 pages. So some think the length is a drawback, but others really appreciate that we can go into more depth and do go into more depth on the issue, and also the fact that we cover a lot more than some of the other platforms do. Of course, there are times when a shorter version is preferable if you're tabling or if you want something to hand out to people. For those who are going to go online looking to see, just have a brief overview of what our party stands for, the way that we've met this problem is to say, well, why not also have a platform summary? So we did have one for the 2010 platform. We currently have a committee member of the platform committee who is now working on developing a platform summary for an updated summary. So that will be out there for those people. Let's check out the GP platform at gp.org. If you click on platform on that website, you will see a row of options running horizontally. If you click on the last one, it will give you the PDF version of the platform, which I think probably be most helpful for us right now. And let's look at some of the things that make us different from other parties. One thing, of course, is that we base our politics on our 10 key values. These are showcased at the beginning of our platform. They form the bedrock upon which our template of a just and sustainable society is founded. Another thing that makes Greens very different is that we are willing to be truly radical. That is, to go to the roots of problems, not just treat symptoms or put Band-Aids on them. Greens recognize that our current Western industrial paradigm is literally killing the planet because of its emphasis on competition, on constant growth, on a linear view of progress, and the unquestioned assumption of human entitlement and the need to subjugate the natural world. There are those disturbed by our strong viewpoint on these things, and they question, but sometimes they write us off as putting plants or animals ahead of people. But to frame this as a question of the environment or people shows they really don't understand what's happening. It's not just a matter of biodiversity. It's not just a matter of degrading our home. It's really a matter also of losing our human family. What we're doing to the earth can't be separated from what we're doing to ourselves. When it comes to social justice, our platform on social justice takes a backseat to no one. Most Greens I've known over the years have been very active in social justice work, whether that's working for universal single-payer health care, protecting Native American treaty rights, working with Black Lives Matter, working to reform the criminal justice system, helping the homeless, course, being involved in anti-war work. All of these things and all of this activism is also reflected in our very comprehensive social justice section. When it comes to economics, Greens have a profound distrust of corporate capitalism. You can find many planks addressing this on page 57 of the PDF version of the platform, and it's under Curbing Corporate Power. I should also note here that Greens, of course, take no money. Green candidates do not take corporate contributions, and that makes us very different from the other political parties also. Greens put great emphasis on local economies, on limits to growth, and on bringing our economic strategies into harmony with the natural land, with the natural world. I'm going to quote from our platform here. Green economics is rooted in ecological economics. Our current economic system is gravely flawed. It is unjust and unsustainable because it is premised on endless economic growth and destruction of nature. Green economic policy places value not just on material wealth, but on the things which truly make life worth living: our health, our relationships, our communities, our environment, and building peace and justice throughout our nation and the world. We propose a shift away from materialism. Greens support strong local economies and regional trade. The best model of economic security is for a community and region to be largely self-sufficient in the production of its necessities. There is a word for this, and that word is bioregionalism. Bioregionalism means to be able to produce most of what you need from within your own bioregion. Of course, this would require a radical transformation of our society, and it flies in the face of the corporate globalized economy which dominates our world today. Bioregionalism gets us reconnected to where we live in a very profound and fundamental way. It brings decision-making home to local communities, and it makes a scale a human-centered one that we can deal with. Of course, Greens also oppose international trade deals, which tend to destroy local and even state and national controls to protect workers and the environment. There are many socialistic aspects to our green economics. There are also is strong support for small private enterprises and small businesses. The key factors seem to be a deep commitment to a socially just and egalitarian society, recognition of limits to growth and the need to end wasteful overconsumption and overproduction, an emphasis on local control and empowerment of workers and communities, a scaling back of hyperindustrialism, and a profound shift to bioregional thinking and planning. If you read our platform's economic section carefully, you'll see it blends small-scale socialism with small-scale capitalism and with indigenous economic thought, and thus creates a unique and a new and diversified type of economic system. There has been a lot of discussion about what this should be called. What economic system is this? Capitalist? Is this socialist? I think the only thing that works for me is green economics, because it is something new. When it comes to the environment, our platform has very in-depth coverage on the environment, and our key value of ecological wisdom has put the Green Party light years ahead of others when it comes to human ecology. 25 years ago, over 200 leading world scientists put out a paper called The World Scientists' Warning to Humanity, in which they warned that we must change the way we live and do business if we expect to have a world humans are able to inhabit. And Greens really understand this. If you look at Section 3, Ecological Sustainability, which is on page 40 of the PDF version, we can pick out a few things here that show. We have an entire section on protecting our oceans. The other platforms I looked at, might have a phrase or two here or there. We have an entire section on forestry. Ours is the only party platform that even seems to recognize how important these forest ecosystems are. We also call for a ban on new nuclear power plants and a phase out of existing ones. We also strongly oppose biofuels and biomass as dirty fuels, which it would be a great mistake to consider as part of any large-scale alternative energy plan. strongly support small organic farms. We oppose industrial scale agriculture. That includes factory farms, toxic pesticides, and GMO foods. We, of course, actively promote bioregionalism, and we recognize the issue of human population and its devastating effects on our air, waters, soils, and all our relations. We are in the midst of the sixth great extinction, which is largely due to habitat loss caused by a combination of over-industrialism, overconsumption, and overpopulation. But Greens also recognize the fact that affluent nations, such as our own, at least the affluent people within our nation, have an impact that is much greater on the earth per person than those people in less affluent areas of the world, and that is something that we take into consideration as we're talking about population. Most telling of all, the Green Party is the only party that looks at the issue of water as a major issue. I find this quite amazing because we face a worldwide water crisis where more than 1 billion people already lack access to clean drinking water. This is no doubt something you can identify with very much. By 2025, it's projected that 2/3 of the world's people will be living with a serious scarcity of water. There are those trying to profit from this situation and privatize water. The Green Party platform very specifically addresses that. I'll quote here. The Green Party calls for an international declaration that water belongs to the earth and all of its species. Water is a basic human right. The U.S. government must lead the way in declaring water a fundamental human right and prevent efforts to privatize, export, and sell for profit a substance that is essential to all life. We devote an entire section to water on pages 49 and 50 of the PDF version. I hope that you'll take the time to read it in full, and I'd also encourage you, as people with firsthand experience with this critical issue, to write any planks that you think would be needed to strengthen this section of the platform. You are green experts on water infrastructure, and I'm afraid that what's happened in Flint is just the tip of the iceberg. The Green Party really needs to get this right, and you can be very helpful on this. Here's the format for proposals. gpus.org/committees/platform/platform submission. This is where you can look up the proper format to put whatever planks you may come up with into. So here's how it works. If you see something in the platform that you think needs to be dealt with differently or stated differently, or you have an idea for a completely new plank, what you need to do is get the approval of write out exactly what you think should be in the platform. Spell it right out and get support for it within your state Green Party or a Green Party caucus or committee that you may belong to that is empowered to write platform proposals. And when you get approval through one of those entities, it will be sent on to the platform committee. We will look at it and work with you, tweak it if necessary, to be sure it's in the proper format for sending on to the steering committee. When we send it on to the steering committee, they basically queue it up so that it will be put into put up for a vote by the national committee. The national committee being our highest decision-making body. Our deadline for submission is December 31st. Unfortunately, I know that means a real time crunch for getting anything in, but I'll be glad to help in any way I can. You can email me at creelinda@hotmail.com, and I'll do what I can to help expedite things for you. So once again, I thank you for this opportunity, and working together, we can keep it green and growing. Thank you.